What up, world? It's your boy Mo Better from Mo Better Publishing and Productions LLC, the media group I deserve a deal in connection with Collective Minds LLC. How y'all doing? Collective Minds LLC, the revitalization of Black Wall Street. A lot of people don't know that Black Wall Street is actually. People say, but we need to start our own. We already start our own. That's what this is called the revitalization of. The thing is, they actually hide our story. And they've taken our story from us. Everything it is that is supposed to be us as a people has been taken from us. It has been manipulated. Uh, it has been manipulated and taken away and added to where they now begin to say that everything it is that they consider to be great is made by them and not us. So we already did this. It was a time just like right now. We're in the trenches. I did a video earlier today talking about how we're in the trenches and where love is created and can be the strongest form when it's made through the trenches, or what we call the trenches when you are in the penitentiary. And when you got two people that make it not just through the penitentiary, but trials and tribulations in life out here in society, family members passing away, just hard times on life and period. What happens is when these two people help each other through that thing, their bonds can become stronger than like relatives than blood. You know what I mean? And that's what happened at Black Wall Street. They, through the trials and tribulations, they made it. They fought to be each other. They fought through the dogs. They fought through the water hoses and being hung, different things of that nature to be where they were. And this is what the situation is. Eileen let them, hey Queen, how you doing? Good evening. And this is what the situation was with that. And this was Black Wall Street. And it was where we as a people stuck together and did everything together. Will Nesby, how you doing, King? They did everything together. And you need to put your identification with the paperwork that you have. You have two non-disclosures over there. You need to put your identification on one and sign it the same name that's on your license for wherever you are, and then you need to send that back to me. So now what you have done, I trusted you, so I'm asking you to trust me. So you send that back. So that's I'm trusting you. So the demonstration is that's going to be your non-disclosure in order not to be able to display the information that's pertaining to Collective Minds LLC that you have. Nobody else has it. You see what I'm saying? You are much appreciated, brother. I'm glad you got your sweater. But this demonstration is what we are and what we need to do. We're in the trenches still again right now. And what we need to do is get ourselves back together. And we need to come in together like they did. Like our brothers and sisters did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to create one of the greatest educational and economic infrastructures that ever existed. You know, tonight we are here with Beverly Perryman, and I should have put her name up there again. I wonder if I can go through right now while I'm on here and try to change this. Uh, Beverly Perryman is trying to come on. She was on early. We made a connection, so I'm trying to see what she's going on. Today we're going to talk about us as a people. Today in Collective Minds LLC is Relationship Wednesdays. As we have days in here, like Malcolm X and many others said, we're not actually. I want to rephrase something Malcolm X said because our time is different. She, uh, there was what was I had before that text came through? Uh, the situation behind that was uh, we as a people stuck together. And what we have to do is we have to remain that same thing. And Malcolm X and several others said that we are not, one thing I want to rephrase that Malcolm X says, he says the hardest thing for a black man to do is, he said we're not outnumbered. What we are is uneducated and unorganized. Now I do say this, we are unorganized still today. However, CC Alexandra, hey Queen, how you doing? I see you changed your portrait. So we are uneducated. We are not uneducated. Our education just split out because we're unorganized and we're divided. Now imagine many of us coming together who are educated for the same purpose of us growing together as kings and queens, as revitalizing the village it takes to raise the children. Think about that. Now I don't know what happened to Miss Perryman, but she was here. I hope everything is okay. She's not even on here. We just went through the processes of uh, getting her on here. I don't know. She's a woman, so you know what I'm saying. She might be getting like super pretty. She might be getting like super pretty right now. You know what I'm saying? To come on here and speak in front of the masses. That might be the situation. That might be it right now. Uh, Let me see if I can change this in the process of it being done. Because today we will have hopefully Beverly Perryman. There she is, right here. Let me see if I can bring you in now. As a woman, she don't want to change up. Put on pearls.
Why are you laughing?
I said, because I know you're a woman. You don't want to put on some diamonds and some pearls. You got to get ready. You got to get ready for the. Hold up.
So you picked me out, huh?
With special guest, special guest, Beverly Perryman, relationship and sex healer.
Got
Right?
it.
That's what she is. Y'all don't know that about Beverly Perryman. She's part of the collective minds LLC, and I want to bring this in the situation. Now, when you start talking about Black Wall Street, Black Wall Street was a place where all of us got together and we did absolutely everything. And we shared everything with one another. We spent our money with us before we went anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
We shared our money with us before we went anywhere else. We had absolutely everything. If you needed a brick mason, it was in Black Wall Street. If you had a therapist, it was in Black Wall Street. A dentist was Black Wall Street. We had our own bus or our taxis, our own grocery stores, movie theaters. We actually had over 600 businesses. Listen, it started with one, and in 10 to 15 years, we grew into over 600 different businesses and ran absolutely everything that was ours. School, you want to go to school to be a doctor, lawyer, whatever it was right here. Jake, what's up, fam? I got to get that six pack you got, boy. You better be working out over here. So, this is what we did. So we got to revitalize this again. So right now we're talking to yes, to our guest right here, who will be guest speaker, which is Beverly Perryman, who's actually a relationship and sex healer. Now I said counselor at first, and you said, "Oh no, don't do that." You said, "No, I'm a healer." So can you please give us a demonstration between a sex healer, a relationship and sex healer, and a sex relationship counselor? What is the difference?
Just a sophisticated name. I just look at myself as I have incorporated the Chinese use the term kintsugi, which means that they fix broken things. And that's what a healer does. You fix things that are broken. So they use like the
Okay.
pottery when it's broken. They put it together and they put diamonds, they put gold, they fix it up and it looks better than the original. So that's where my
Ah,
healer term comes in. So,
so relationship and sexual situations in their relationship, this is all the same thing. The demonstration is what they do is they can come to you and get healed and know how to fix what is
mhm,
broken.
right,
You that advice. That
right. I
right?
specialize
Okay.
in affair crisis. I just feel, yeah,
Okay.
I just believe that every affair does not have to end up in divorce or separation, but it's not easy, and not all need to be mended, but for the most part, it can be. But you have to have the both willing participant. You both have to be willing.
Okay. I mean, the people. I'm listening to this accent as you speak. What is this accent?
I'm
Have
a
you done?
Caribbean. I'm a Caribbean girl. I'm from Grenada, and our country is considered the island of spice. So that's why I use Spice Island Girl. That's my business.
Okay. All right. And you taking things from the Spice Islands of the Caribbean. You combine that with some things over here in the United States. America, and you couple that with the
Yeah.
Asian arts to be where you are.
Okay.
I study some of the arts of sex and relationship, you know what I'm saying, going all the way back to India to the Kama Sutra, you know what I'm saying. I study some Michael Wynn, some Mantak Chia, different things of that
Tantric.
nature. One of the things we talked about before was also something that we need to really get into the organization and privately. We need to get in there and start talking about. We talked about it before.
I
Tantric
just, yeah, I
sex,
just mentioned, yeah,
where it's actually the energy between two people. People think that it's spiritism and different things of that nature.
it's
It's
not.
not. We are all. You breathe. Hebrew, Greek, that's nuah, nephesh. You know what I'm saying? That's the breath, that's energy and life. And we actually pass these things on, and the Most High, who actually made the relationship, said, guess what? We will become one
Hmm.
flesh. And we need to know how to do that, and you deal with that when you're dealing with tantric
Right.
sex. Now, tonight, talking about
Tantric is so powerful that your presence, just walking into a room, has an effect on your partner.
when you
When you
learn
learn
it,
it,
people
yes,
feel it.
it's
You know what I'm
energy.
saying? So it's not spiritual spookism. It's not
No,
spookism. It's actually
right,
spirit.
it's energy.
You know. Today we're going to talk about the powers of being a submissive woman and the powers of being a dominant man. These are the powers. And a lot of women say, man, submissive. I wish it's power in being submissive. But before we get to that, I want to talk about what we was missed last week. And what we missed last week, we was talking about the difference between relationships then with our grandparents, mothers, fathers, different things of that nature, depending upon how old we are. You know, I'm 50. You know, so I'm talking about when I talk about then, I mean those who was in relationships in like the 60s, the 50s, and the
Right.
40s. Those their relationships were different and they lasted long. And man, they stuck together and made and had multiple kids amongst each other. And not every man had a complete and whole nother family somewhere else. We stuck together. In today's time, the 80s and up, we as a black people have the biggest divorce rate. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Why do you think they stuck together back then as opposed to us just doing nothing? I like you. I want to go to a wedding, have a big party, and get some presents, but I don't want to go through the sickness and the health, the richer or the poor, to death do us part.
Well, first of all, they don't have all the they didn't have the distraction. Most of them back there didn't have television. You didn't get all these distractions that you have now. And when you talk about not having a family, they did the same thing, but they were able to go through it thick and thin. I think they took their vows very serious till death do us part. Okay, because like for me, there's three sets of us. Okay, and all us siblings got along well. Parents still stayed together. They went through thick and thin, and
Now I don't say nobody done it. I don't say
but
nobody done it, but I'm saying it was just not like no man can be faithful back then.
but
Oh, you a
yeah,
woman?
but the thing
You
is, they're the distraction, and they were more committed to relationship. Now, as soon as somebody upsets you, you're ready, you're gone. You move on to the next partner. When that one makes you upset, you move on to the next. They didn't do that. They stuck through it, and I think, like I know, I grew up with my grandparents, and I think they both know their place in the relationship, in the marriage. This is what you did.
we
I'm sorry.
we gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. But the demonstration behind this, the first part is this: like now in today's times, when we get married, I like you. You got a fat booty. You got a. I'm not talking about you. I ain't seen you. So I'm talking about, she has a nice body. She look good. He bow-legged. He drive a Benz or a BMW or a Porsche truck. And we get together, and that what is compatible meant. I look good in his car. She look good on my arm, and that when we get married, according to our peers, we're gonna look good. Our wedding is gonna be big. We're gonna get dressed nice. We're gonna get a lot of gifts. But back then, it was the integrity of. We had spirituality back then. We was really into like God said, even in my weaknesses, even in my imperfections, God said this man and woman become one flesh and we sticking together for richer or poor, for sickness and health, to death do us part.
They
And
did
they
it. They
did
did it.
that. The integrity of you being my woman, the integrity of him being your man. They stuck together and they fought and they made it through
They'll tell
everything.
you it wasn't easy, but they did it.
Say it
It
again, it
wasn't
wasn't
easy,
what?
but they did it. They stuck thick or thin. They did it.
This is what I believe. Tell me what you
Okay.
think about this. Soulmate. I don't believe that I believe that they're soulmates. To when two people meet, the energy is so powerful that we could just see each other and we could possibly get married today. And the day we meet and just last forever, never do nothing. I have to go anywhere else for anything and are completely happy with one another, don't have to go
Mhm.
anywhere. But I also believe that soulmates are like our grandparents were.
Definitely.
I also believe that, you know what I'm saying, a soulmate can be made soulmates. We can be made into soulmates by fighting and making it through everything that everybody says that we won't do. When we make it through trials and tribulations
Hmm.
together, that can create stronger bonds than actually blood
Of course.
relatives. And when you make it things as a husband and wife, I seen women, you know what I'm saying? I know women today whose man can't please them sexually, but she don't go nowhere that I know of. That I
Sure.
know of. She don't go nowhere that
Exactly.
I know of. Help him do everything. I know men that she's sick, cancer, legs gone,
He's
breast gone.
there.
He don't care.
He's there.
I, that those are actually also, they were made into
Hmm.
soulmates by helping one another through trials and tribulations. What do you
I
think about
agree.
that?
It's the same thing like when you look at different culture. For Indians, for example, in India, their marriage is arranged, right? And they stay together.
Uh-huh.
Even when I was growing up, some of the marriage it was arranged. Not to the point
Yeah.
like in the different other cultures, but they ended up staying together. Just like you said, they become that mate, that lifetime mate. So
My friend
uh,
said, my friend
that
said,
that's
that
today.
it, man, get out
That's
my,
today.
get out, that's
Mhm.
today. Get out my house, man. Matter of fact, man,
The other thing is today.
I, I've heard women tell other women, shut up talking to me about my dude, mind your business. I'm talking about
That's
back then when I was
exactly
coming up.
today is too many people in your business. It's too many. Like for example, when my daughter got married, her mother-in-law said to her, if she'd been married for 40 years, she said to my daughter, if you have issues with my son, don't tell your girlfriend. You come and talk to me. Me as her mother, I was like, I'm her mother. You know what I'm saying? But that was powerful. And she's rightfully so. Who destroys your marriage the most or your relationship? Your girlfriends.
Bobby Brown on there, he talking and he saying that this is him and his wife Monica. This is a buddy of mine we went to school with. We come
Okay.
up together, and Bobby visited Africa.
Okay.
He went to go visit Africa. He said, "Man, Mo Better, man, you got to go back. You got to try it." And he went back and visited
Hmm.
again. And what I love about Bobby is his wife. You know what I'm saying? He and his wife. When he say, "Let's do something. Let's try something," they like we talking about now. They
Together.
come together and they
Right.
try. And down there and visited twice, and the third time he said, "Mo Better, the next time I go," he said, "I'm moving." I said, "What?" He said, "Man, I'm moving down there." And they moved down there. Today he sends me bills. He calls me 2, 3 in the morning, and they are together. They make it through absolutely everything. They don't bring
Side
the
into your
outside into.
relationship. Yep.
You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? We have a house when we bringing stuff into the
Hmm.
house. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? When you have a bond like this, it's a home. You make it a home. You like you said, we didn't have the distraction of television to where you can get on Atlanta Housewives, and now because you see this
Hmm.
so much, you step in your man face and say, "You's a non-mother factor. You not a factor. Nigga, I don't need you."
The
And this is television. This is geared for us to act like what we see
Right.
on television.
But back then, women also they had respect for their husbands, whoever. Today, there's no respect. None.
Television.
None.
The distractions and the peer pressure of bringing the outside into your home, and you turn your home into a house. Just the living quarters. It's no longer a
Exactly.
home. A home is where there's peace. A home is where there's order. A home is where there's placement. We'll get to that. And that was one of the reasons why we said it's hard today,
It's
right?
hard.
Another thing, back then, again, I'm staying with the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says that, man, when a man finds a wife, he's found a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? You talk about this capable wife. Today, we look at what you look like, what you're driving, what I think you making, and that's it. But we're not
Looking what's in the right.
helpmeets.
You're not looking at what's inside.
What do you have to say about a helpmeet? And how does this help to heal the relationship when you have a helpmeet?
Because that help me, you work together. It's not materialistic. Everything you build together. It's not no you, me. It's us. Everything is about us. And of course, I mean, you're going to have your moments, but the thing is, you work together and you build as a unit.
You a team to where you both win most valuable
Right.
player. This is not the
No.
sports. This is not the most valuable player on where one person get it on the basketball team. This is not the most valuable player that when one person get it on a football or a hockey team. This is a marriage. You know what I'm saying? And you both win most valuable player to degrees to where this is my woman. When she go out, even though she has a name, guess what people say, man, that's Mo Better woman.
Yep.
When I'm out by myself and I go to a lounge or I go to work and I do whatever it is and I'm doing, people say, you know what I'm saying? That's so-and-so's man. We have our individuals' names, but
Together.
we live together in our health degrees to where when we step outside, people know we off limits. They're not trying to get because they know that we're, like we said before, soulmates.
Exactly.
We're together.
Right.
That
And that
valuable
doesn't
player.
take anything away from the woman by saying this is such and such woman or wife. You're identified.
Right.
That's who she is.
That's his. That's hers. They are one another's. They each other's. That's
Right.
who they are. And I love the fact, man, to when you can get out and you can be with them. I love people like this. That's a couple, Bobby Brown and his wife Monica. You got my brother, you know what I'm saying? Not my
Okay.
biological brother, but my brother, you know what I'm saying? And Gloria Scott. You got Sir my dude, it's a couple of people I can name right now. But when they step out, people look at them and be like, I want that. That is, listen, man, I was getting ready to leave Miami one time, right? And I had to do this honest to God truth. I was dealing with some situations myself. And his brother talked about his wife so powerfully about how he loved her that I cried. I said, I
Wow.
want that. Honest to God, I said, I want that. That was powerful to me. Bobby Brown says things only work for us when we are in total agreement. It's powerful. That's Bobby Brown saying that about him and his wife. And this is what people this is what I want people to understand. Communication is key to everything in the world, in the universe. I'm
Yes.
saying when trees turn different colors, it's depending. If it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the sky gets dark and the wind starts blowing, it's getting ready to rain. That's the universe talking to us. The same thing must be done with us, but we have to be open.
Right.
We step into the next situation of representatives. This is a lot of reasons why we don't last today as well, because of representatives. What you have to say about a representative, that person that comes to you pretending to be everything it is that you are because they studied you, looked at you in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion, and I want to pretend to be everything it is that
I
you
look
think.
at them as a job application, right? When you go to apply for a job, what do? Your best qualities, right? And after your 30 days or your 90 days, that real self comes out. This is who I really am.
You say how many days?
Some jobs do 30, some do 90. Yeah. So,
Man, I'm thinking about that, about 30
yeah.
days to 90 days, because what we are red flags when this
Oh,
representative
yeah.
comes in. Some people can play real, real wrong, real, real strong, and real, real long for a period of time. But for the most part, we see the red flags that we don't
Right.
question. And because of the potential we see in this person, or the potential that we see in us, or guess what, sometimes we just want to say, this is mine. I have somebody. We miss those red flags and it hurts us later on
It's
down the
not
line.
that we miss it. Sometimes we're so infatuated with that person that we overlook that. So that's why it lasts longer. But if we really pay attention, we see it. You can be so into.
How do you how do you deal with the representative?
It,
How do you deal with the representative?
see, I'm the kind of person that at my age right now, I have zero tolerance for a lot of things. So my thing is in the beginning of a relationship, you have to make that list of your must have, your non-negotiable would be things that I would definitely not tolerate. I don't smoke. I would never talk to somebody who smokes. I don't drink, but I can tolerate a social drinker, right? So once you determine all of those things, everything else is adaptable. But when you keep crossing the lines of your non-negotiable, it's time to go because that person is not going to change. And the thing is, if you allow things to continue, you lose control. It's like a child, right?
You're actually, if you allow something to continue, you're actually teaching them how to
Exactly.
treat you.
It's like a child, right?
Yeah.
If you keep letting that kid keep getting
Right.
away with things, what they're going to do? Next thing, they have control. And it's hard to change that.
I, right.
Okay. But people have to set relationship goals.
I use this simple
Yes, sir.
analogy right here. Me and this person in the club, we somewhere, it don't matter where we are. You come past, you step on my shoe and say, excuse me. I say, okay. You come back past, you step on my shoe going back. On that third time, it's like, dude, you didn't mistakenly do this. You did this on purpose. See, what I'm saying is a, a person does not continuously do something that is a
Exactly.
mistake. This is part of their character that they're actually trying to hide from you until they get in with
Hmm.
you where they
Of
want to
course.
be. Then you guess what they had a right to say when you allow this to take place.
Allow me to do it.
This you accepted me like
Exactly.
this.
This is how I was when you met me. Right?
Let me ask you a question. In each one, any of these situations, in the relationships as to how they were back then to where we have now, how do we heal that?
Well,
How do we become like our parents? How do we become like our grandparents? And me and you know what I'm saying? We kind of older, but like how, today, can the young today make it like our grandparents and them did back then?
it's hard because they're not taught those type of things to begin with, right? Because remember, each generation down has lost that. So you can't, not saying it's impossible, but it's difficult to take them at this point and to mold them in that way. They're kind of like the millenniums now. They out of control. The other thing is that they take too much for granted. Um, when they take being submissive as you controlling them, you telling them what to do. They don't understand what submissive. Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
So they think that this generation think that you're taking something away from them, and they are not the type of people who give and sacrifice. Oh, older parents, they made sacrifices.
Everything is for the now. Everything is for
Right.
the right now. So the
They don't
thing is,
listen.
what we need to do, like in collective minds, this is what I always talk about. The collective of self. It's about building one
Right.
another up. It's about adding to the value of who you are
Absolutely.
as an
Hmm.
individual. If you add yourself the value to the self, I did this analogy with a friend before. We was actually sitting in the car, and I said, "I'm about to go stand out here on that little spot right there, right?" She's like, "Okay," and I said, "Throw me your phone." She said, "What?" I said, "Throw me your phone." My iPhone. I'm not about to. You know, I can pay for it,
Hmm.
right? I'm not throwing my phone out there. I said, "Is your phone valuable?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, why do you keep throwing your pearls? You're so much more
The
valuable
phone.
than the phone.
Exactly.
You won't do that to me, but you will throw that to these lames,
Hmm.
right?" So my demonstration behind that is this. When we add to the value of who we are, we begin to make better decisions in this thing called life. So to add value to yourself, the whole process of Collective Minds LLC is to add
Value.
value to you by education, knowing who you are, knowing what your place is as a woman, knowing what your place is as a man, and together y'all grow together.
See, too many women now want to play the
So
man's role and still be treated like a woman when you take his role over.
that's what we are. How you know we was about to step into places?
Oh,
We about to step into places right now. You know what I'm saying? Because women get mad when they hear that. Man, you got a place. You need to stay in your
they do.
place. And they get mad when they hear
Mm-hmm.
that. They don't even understand that through the processes of, and I say this, systematic mental manipulation and mental and emotional warfare that has been placed upon us as a people, they switch our places. They give you jobs, they put you in placements and things of that nature and give you things. I'm not saying, Queens, that you don't deserve it. Some of you are genius. Some of you are so powerful that it's pathetic, right? But at the same time, I want you to understand that if you and your man has more degrees than you, he has more certificates than you, and he applies for the same job that you do, they will give it to you before they give it to
Definitely.
him because they want to change the place of provider of the
Right.
house. So that gives the woman the place to say, I don't need you. And that's incorrect.
But
See what
black
I'm saying?
women,
So we have, when
right.
these men have this place, I want you to understand that guess what? Man got a place too. He has a
Mm-hmm.
place. Now, this speech right here about places in a position that we're supposed to play is going to branch off into our next section. But woman, I don't care how much you make, the man is supposed to be still head of the household, especially if he's leading in the right direction and with the right head. What do you say about that?
Black women is the only women who say I'm strong and I don't need a man, and still saying it.
The only
It's not working, but we're still saying it, right? You don't hear others say that, right? I mean, and I
right.
understand that we kind of was forced to be in the position. However, we know better, right? And we know why all of these things have occurred through the system. So as you talk about the brainwash, time we get rid of that, cure that. Brainwashed.
We have to challenge the myth of
Let me
black
tell you.
inferiority by finding out who we are by studying what the system is actually doing to
But
you. You
but
know
we
what I'm
know
saying?
it. We talk about it. We know why we in the position that we are. We know why we make more money than the black men. We know why the black men are hauled off to jail. We know all these, but yet
I don't think every woman does. I
I
think a
don't.
lot still don't know because they argue with me when I talk about this. I'm a genius. I'm smart. I can.
But how? But
That's not what I'm
you
saying.
ever ask them how is that working for you? I think black women don't understand because, for example, at my job, and until you're around a bunch of white people, you see that they are basically no different than us, except they don't go around say, I'm strong and I don't need a man. Okay?
That is something that has been imposed upon our women to where they can say, "Nigga, I
Right.
don't need you." And like you said, we're the only
Mm-hmm.
women that say that.
Oh,
Our
only
culture is
court.
the only culture that
Exactly.
you will never go find a strong, independent Asian woman that
Nope.
says it. You will never go find a strong, independent
Mm.
Indian woman that
Or
says it. You will never go
what?
find a strong, independent Italian woman that says it. A strong, independent Sicilian woman that
Black
says it.
women.
You will never go find a strong, independent Latin or Spanish woman that says that ever. So try to figure out why you
You look
say
at
this. Where
you
does
look
it
at
come?
groups. White women, they use the word empowerment group. Black women use strong black woman group. Look at them on Facebook. Strong black woman. How is that working for you? How is I'm a strong black independent woman? It's not working.
You have a beautiful house. You have a nice job, you know what I'm saying? To where the man has placed you, the system has placed you. I don't care if you have
Mhm.
degrees or not. The system allows you to be in this position. You know what I'm saying? You may or you may not have
Mhm.
children, but you're at the same time
You
you're
know what? When
single.
you come home and you close that door, it's nobody there. Nobody to greet you.
Yeah,
Nobody to talk to you
yeah.
until you go back to work the next day. If you have family member to talk to you, that's all well and good. But that's it. You come home and you're lonely as hell. You talk about strong black women.
Some women okay with being lonely, but I want you to not lonely, but alone. Some women are cool with being alone, and right now you're working on yourselves to really embrace him when he comes along and to know who he is when he steps in front. But many of you, strong, independent black women, are lonely. You're not alone.
You know
You
what I
lonely.
find?
Why? You even chase men away from you with the attitude that you have. From Atlanta Housewives, from Empire,
But
you know what I'm saying? From all these places, you run a man away from you with the
okay,
attitudes that
but
you have. Again, we are the only culture that says I am a strong, independent. I don't need my man. You are the only culture that
but you
says
know
it.
what I found out just by doing what I do? A lot of women who says that, they just say because. What happens sometimes if you don't have something long enough, you in your mind you say I don't want it. All these women who say well, I don't need a man, let the one come along. See what happens.
Now, I want the people listening to understand this as well. We're not talking about the women who have been
They're no different.
misused and
Yeah,
abused by
they're
knuckleheads.
done.
We're
Yeah,
not talking. He don't even need to be. If he knows what he's doing and he still does this until he's learned, I don't even think them dudes need to be around.
done.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? To me, they waste a breath if they're going to continue to demean and degrade the black woman like they do. I'm not.
That's
So
no.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the women that have gone through that. I'm talking about you women who have been manipulated by the system to believe I don't
Mm-hmm.
need no man. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? To teach you that. And some of you will even tell a man, nigga, I don't need you. I got my own this. This where I live. This where I work. I got my
Yeah,
eat.
they will. They will.
And you
I've
buy
heard them. I got my car.
and you buy
I got make good money. I can go on vacation. I can do. But when you're going on vacation, you're going alone. You're in that car. You by yourself. Everything you do, you by yourself.
how do you heal? Same situation. I'm gonna ask you, how do our sisters heal from that relationship healing, Beverly Perryman?
Heal from what the being aloneness or the
I, I'm a strong, independent black woman. They don't know that this actually chase men away from real men. This
just
chases real men away from them. So how do the sisters
they
fix
have
that?
to change the mindset and understand that men are typically not against them. So they have to change that mindset and be able to say, I am willing to work with the right person, right? And I mean, it's not easy, after, especially after you've been through a lot, but everybody is not bad. You can't judge Paul by what Peter did. So you have to heal yourself from that. Get over, come into yourself. And the
I
worst thing
think
is for women. Women does that more than men because a man could move around and has no feelings for you, but women gets into their feelings very easy. But you have to, after a relationship, you have to heal yourself, and that way, when you come into the next relationship, you're not bringing what happened here into that one. It's okay that you discuss it. I can say to you, well, this happened to me, this happened to me, but it's not going to be onto you as though you're the one that have done something to me. This baggage.
it's something I don't think you understand. I think as a woman, you might not think that. You said, well, men don't feel like this, and man, let me explain something to you from a man's perspective. I'm a real man. Men, you know what I'm saying? Men of men, street dudes, gangsters, or anything. Let me explain something to you. We internally know how powerful a woman is. We know it's inbred in us to feel like First Peter, it says in the Bible. Deal with her with knowledge, assign her with honor. The feminine one, a weaker vessel, to be assigned with
Okay.
honor. So we still hold you in a perfect state, even in our minds. So we can go out here and do whatever it is we want to do. But when you do something, we be ready to die, commit suicide, go blow up the White House. We want to do everything because that's so we feel. We just deal
The,
with it in a different
and
way.
that stemmed from the little boy, right? Don't
Don't cry,
cry,
big
get
boy.
up, dust yourself off, and we get consoled where you got get up. So you grew up with that mentality. By the same token,
And we grow into the boys that we were groomed to. I mean, we grow into the men that we would be as boys. We need to learn how to do that. So now we get into this situation right here. A lot of people don't know the power. The women don't know the power of being submissive. And a lot of brothers don't know the power of being dominant. And then we can reverse that. Brothers, you don't know the power of being submissive to your woman. And queens, you don't know the power of being dominant when it's needed to be. Now, we're going to switch this situation. What I mean by that, because when you have a man that is leading in the right way, he's leading in the right direction with the right head, guess what he can do? You remember what God told Abraham? He said, man, your wife, he said, listen to her. Everybody want a Boaz. Every woman want a Boaz. But guess what Boaz did? He caught a Ruth that listened to him. He caught a Ruth that brought him peace. He brought a Ruth that helped him do everything it was that he was doing when you Ruth and Boaz. You see what I'm saying? So she, and guess what she was? She was a black woman. She was a Moabite. Guess what she did? She understood the power of being submissive. What did that do? See, she went to Boaz first. She said, listen, both her husbands died. So in the law of back then, you can go to the next of kin if you didn't have any children. So he went to the next of kin. He said she went to the next of kin, which was Boaz. And Boaz said, well, no, I got some other people that you can holler at that are still family members. And she went and met some of these people, but guess what? Boaz saw how hard she worked. She wasn't waiting on somebody to come pay all the bills. He saw how industrious she was.
She was patient. and she followed instruction.
And she followed. And guess what he said? He said, man, I want to know more about her. That's how Boaz knocked off Ruth, because really, guess what? Ruth was submissive and knocked off Boaz. That's what happened. You see what I'm saying? She was submissive. Boaz's feet was cold. Guess what she did? She went in there and slept on his feet. She ain't want no sex. You got your hat on? You got your coat on, king? You know what I'm saying? Did you eat today? Did you? She was submissive. He said, man, he ended up marrying her. And guess what now? Ruth and Boaz are talked about all over the world.
Their example.
Guess what Boaz did? Boaz. When I talked about a man being submissive sometimes, what I mean is this. He delegated authority to Ruth.
That's what it's supposed to be.
So, I'm a man. I'm a Kevin Hart. I'm going to say, I'm going to whip my chest out. I'm going to say with my chest out. He didn't do that. He listened to her. Abraham listened to Sarah. You see what I'm saying? He listened to his wife. And if her together, we talked about this earlier, communication is the key in the universe. So if you have open, honest communication, you don't bring the representative along, you don't send your representative, and y'all have this open, honest communication, and you are one another's helpmeet. Queen, he's leading in the right direction with the right head. Be submissive to him. And guess what he will do?
Give you the world. But Black women is the only women, again, who thinks that being submissive means that I'm giving up something.
I'm weak.
You're taking something away from me. They don't understand that submissive is a big part of respect and trust. If I'm submissive, that means I trust you wholeheartedly.
Say it again.
If I'm submissive, I trust you wholeheartedly.
And this is something I want the woman to understand. Just like the man will be submissive to you, which means he would delegate authority to you when you know what you're talking about. When y'all communicate and your idea is better than his, but it's for the family, he's going to say, go ahead. Guess what? And he happy, just like it talks about the capable wife. He said, man, that's my wife. My wife did this. She thought of this idea. My girl did this. My girl said this. That's what the man is gonna do. Man, she's smart, ain't she? Oh, come here, baby. Show the
Yeah.
world that you his, right? The same demonstration with
I
submissiveness.
surrender.
You queen, we know who you are. We know how powerful you are. That's why we with you. But guess what the demonstration is? You actually submit in power. Not to his power, you submitting your own power. You say, guess what? I trust you enough to give you some of my
Mm-hmm.
power. Y'all don't
They
understand that
don't.
though.
They don't. They don't. I hear it a
See,
lot. They think that I'm giving you ain't gonna tell me what to do.
yeah, you're right. I'm not. Never no
Emma,
more.
Emma, I'm gonna do this. I do this. I do this. It's like, whoa, yeah. They don't understand. And that's one of the easiest way to chase a man away, besides the attitude.
Again, women, a man is with you because he understands. He don't understand. He understands who you are. He understands the ability and the potential that you have as an individual and what you all can
Together.
do together. Now, in this open, honest communication, this man is talking to you and showing you how to do certain things. And guess what? He's listening to you when you are showing him how to do things. But you say, hey, what you want to do, baby? This is my idea. And I think this right here. And y'all sit and figure this out. You say, but what you want to do? Do you understand that in your submission, you just gave him power?
Absolutely.
So he does. He knows how to delegate authority. You see
Hmm.
what I'm saying? How continuously loves his wife. You see what I'm saying? Understands that he can trust you and y'all help mates.
Exactly.
This, this is the difference between sex partners and situationships, help meets, and real relationships.
Hmm.
See, this man, I'm coming home. What I say, shut up. Don't say nothing. The kids be seen and not heard. Now, is my dinner cooked? Did you? Yeah. Okay. I want some sex. I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock. It's jumping off and don't say
That's a
nothing.
whole different.
That's
That's
not.
not so.
That's not. Man.
Yeah.
That's domineering. That's being a man. You're a dictator. You're not making someone have a deep respect for you. You're making someone hate you and dislike you and don't. When you come home, they don't even like when you come home.
That's true.
Well, let me rephrase that. They don't even like when you come to the house. Because sometimes, guess what, bruh? You can turn a home into a house. You can. Not always talking about the sister. Sometimes the sister can do the same thing by paying attention to her friends. But the men do the same demonstration by listening to your friends or listening to the TV. And then you want to act like who you see on TV. And guess what? You're going to be just like them on TV. Your whole life will be written by somebody else. That stuff is scripted. You got to
Yeah,
believe it.
because I've heard some men say some of the things that he's doing. His friends like, "Oh man, you do that? I don't do that." So then he gets into his mind, "Oh, he don't do that, so I'm not going to do that either." And don't realize that he's wrecking his home by listening to his friends and her. Same thing, vice versa.
So again, healer. How do we help heal the demonstration between understanding, overstanding, of overstanding how being submissive is a power?
Through education, knowledge is power. And the thing is,
You got to
if you learn and you don't teach, then you have that information to yourself, right? Whatever you learn, you should be able to teach. Is everybody going to follow you? No, just like you said about collective minds, right? Just going to grab a few.
right.
You can't get everyone. But I think that if people evaluate where they are and have a plan of where I want to go, they would pay attention to teachings.
See, some of these people, like I always talk about the Bible. That's because I talk about the Bible and the Quran. Actually, theology was one of my majors, so I studied a lot of religions. But I talk about the Bible and the Quran because that's what the predominance of us deal
Mhm.
with. And people say that, oh man, the Bible, man, it dogs women and it disrespected women in it. You've never really read the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who says that never really read the Bible. I'm sitting here talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but guess what? It talks about Sarah, Rachel, and
Right.
Rebecca. Those were the matriarchs of the patriarchs. Those were the mothers of civilization. You see what I'm saying? You want to talk? Who was Zipporah? Can anybody tell me? That was Moses' wife. You see what I'm saying? Who was Deborah? This was a prophetess. You see what I'm saying? We still right now we talking about Ruth. What about Esther? Y'all remember her? You know what I'm
She's the
saying? We
queen.
continuously go on through this and talk about different things. And Dinah, you know what I'm saying? Miss Milcah, David's wife. So the first, when I was 20, 25 years old, in the process of studying, guess what the first place I ever heard of the name Candace? Now, Candace is a common name today, but what made me go study Ethiopian Kemet, like I really did begin to study, is because people always told me the Bible never talked about black people, that it always degraded and disrespected women. Well, one of the first people that was ever baptized, black that we know of, that's written in the Bible, was an Ethiopian eunuch who he was a woman who actually worked under the queen of Ethiopia. When you talk about King Solomon, this is so powerful to me, and I love this part right here. Listen, the black women come out here and you want to be naked, you want to be nude. We didn't come out. This is what you love. Now, get this. So the women are out here selling sex or doing whatever it is, whatever you need. I don't care what it is. But demonstrate this. It says, look for adornment, purple, great ornaments that you put, so let it be the heart. Solomon was considered to be the richest man in the world. Solomon was trying to get this slave girl that he saw. Oh, she was beautiful. Guess what? She was black.
Black women.
Guess what? She told the king, you don't have enough money for me to get with you. I'm involved with a shepherd boy that I'm like, and I'm in love with, and I will hold my integrity to him. This is a sister.
That's like our
That's
grandparents, right? He didn't
that's my
right because
that's,
they didn't have much, and they didn't have much back then, right? There wasn't
but
about material.
this this the king at the time, and she telling the king, no. The two most powerful people in the Bible that king. Listen, you were king back then. You run and do what you want to do, but he wasn't in the race. King Solomon said, "I want you." The Shulamite maiden. When you look up a Shulam, she
Dark.
was black. Then guess who else he was in love with? He was in love with the queen of Ethiopia, who
Was
also said, "I can't have you. I'm okay with. I don't want somebody that got a man. You got 1,000 wives. You the king. You rich and you wise, but you not gonna treat me like I want to be treated. Black women
sure,
in the Bible.
sure. They
Y'all
didn't
just
want they
think
didn't want
about
no leftovers.
it. Now the process when you was talking about education, when I want our women to think about where we coming from and where they are today and the things that you
Mhm.
do today. In the education, I want you to go back and think about where you come from because we do not originate with where we are today. This is manufactured by the system.
Of course.
What do you think about the healing process for all this? What do we need to do, Queen?
Like everything else, we have to start coming together as a people. Be the people who we were meant to be, like our parents, great grandparents, great grandparents, for those who know them, you know? That's the only way. Otherwise, we're going to keep going further and further apart. We have to have that unity passed down for our children. Otherwise, we'll be lost. We'll continue to be lost.
We as the man, we have to step up and
You
stand up.
have to, but we
You know,
also have to give you back your power to be a man. You have to step up and we have to let go and give it back to you.
I ain't say nothing. I was talking and she cut me off, and I had to shut up because I love what she just said.
What?
To where when we step up, y'all got to give us our power back. when we trying to be in the place that we need to be in, you can't just talk. Oh, don't stand in my face. I don't need you. And don't try to be in a position that you're in a place that was not given
Right.
to you by the Most High, but a place that was given to you by the system who wants you to be
Right.
divided.
And also the disrespect. Like I hear the way some females talk to their, I wouldn't even say that man, their husbands, and it's appalling. MF this, that, it's crazy. Absolutely no respect. Because if you don't respect your man, you're not going to get that respect back. And then women is the first to complain about what the man do not do. So we have to
Yeah,
learn as female to respect our men.
and I'm gonna explain something to you. And I was wrong in certain situations, but the demonstration was this: like I had women that I was with that was so disrespectful, so negative and terrible in the attitude that I didn't even want to be with them.
Right.
I had a brand new house that I didn't even go. I was with somebody else where it was like, man, cold, beautiful. Oh my God. I didn't even want to have sex. And I'm a very sexual person. It irritated me. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, Queens, just like she just said, when you get a good man that's in a position that's doing everything it is that he's supposed to be able to do, get outside of your
Mm-hmm.
brainwash. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get mad when I say that. It's your brainwash. Ain't nobody controlling me. Okay, why you don't have no man? Why you talking to your man like you talking to
Mm-hmm.
your man? Why don't no man want to be with you? Why do they come through, blow through, but then be gone? Ask yourself those questions. Sometimes we have to sit down and do a self-evaluation. We have to first acknowledge that something is wrong. There is an issue. There is a problem. Something needs to be what you say. You a healer. Something needs to be what?
Healed.
It needs
Yeah,
to
it
be
got to
healed.
be healed.
Something needs to be fixed.
And then once you fix it, get it better
It can
than it was
was.
before.
You know, I had some females that didn't want like, no, I can't. I'm good. I'm such. And that's what I asked. I said, could you do me a favor? She said, what? I said, I'm not trying to argue with you to be with you. I'm not trying to argue and fight and find a way to get back in. You said, no, I'm cool with that. But can you tell me what it is about me that you didn't like? This is for me. This is
Mm.
the better me. If it needs to be better,
Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm.
you see, me. What is it? What did I do? It's not to get back with you. You said, no, I'm good with that. But I'm going to fix me if something is wrong with me. So this whole process, you saying the process of healing is we need to find
Who
out
we
who
are.
we we need to reestablish those relationships that we had with the older men and women. Not the older men and women that still want to be pimps and players.
Mm.
The girl want to be thugs and
Right.
gangsters. I done had older chicks. Yeah, I'm a thug. I used to be like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Okay.
Mm.
I wanted to take my drink back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't, real man don't want to hear that. You know, we try to be people that we are not. So again, we need to go and talk to those elders to bring that relationship back between the elders and the young, so we can understand where we
Right.
were, so we can understand what needs to be done, so we can. Uh, the healer,
Right.
Queen Beverly Perryman says, to come
Together.
back together.
And the other thing, these men nowadays, they need to get themselves back to the place where they are men. I hear men, oh, I'm not, before you as a man could correct a child that you see in the street doing something wrong. I hear men say, oh no, because they're afraid of them. Get yourself back and do your job as a man. Because
Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? This is what I push out and what I try to do. And a lot of people know me. A lot of people know me from my past. I carried nicknames like Doc and Rambo before Mo Better. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about them people, this is who I was. So in the situation today, being the man's man, I express my emotions. I express how I feel. I talk about things openly because I want us to understand that guess what? You still a
still
man.
am.
You can express how you
Still be
feel
a
and
man.
still be the you are.
Exactly.
And it even makes the woman, you know what I'm saying, want to look at you even more and ask you for help even more. So guess what happens as you grow together? We don't have to be man and woman. We don't never have to have sex. We don't never have to be together, but we can be friends. And this is what it was when we was coming up. When we remember we had streets, not blocks. Remember that? Remember we had homes and not houses.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we had communities and not hoods?
Exactly.
When when
Everybody
we
look out for
grow
each other.
and we educate
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, this is what we bring back. Now the thing is, now you know, what will you do about it?
We got it. You know, we like I said, we have to do like the Jews do. You know, they what do they do? The kids may go to public school, but when they come back after school, they go to the establishment and they learn about the culture, right? They teach them.
Exactly.
We need to do the same thing. Whether you use a school or church building, wherever, we have to be able to teach our young people. Otherwise, they will continue on the path that they are. Lack of respect, lack of commitment, disrespectful.
And we can't just teach
We
them.
can
We have to live by the
we have
example.
to be the example, you know, because the thing is, we complain about them, but how do you complain about people if you're not willing to fix them?
How can you complain about people you doing
You're
what
doing
they're doing?
That's the
They're
other
doing
thing too. You're doing what they're doing.
the same was you better do as I say, not as I do. No, I
That
don't
work
care if
that
they
worked
gonna
for us,
do it.
not this
Yeah,
generation. You can't tell me do as I
yeah.
say, not as I do. We have to be example for this generation.
Right. Now, if, I want to ask anybody before we get ready to go out. Would anybody like to ask any form of question to Beverly, the relationship and sex healer? Would anybody like to ask me any questions? You can ask whatever it is that you want to, and to the best of our abilities, we'll answer it. I'm gonna wait for a second because there's a time lapse. You know. Well, until then, and if anything comes up, Queen Beverly Perryman, sex healer, relationship and sex healer. I keep trying to say that first, but relationship and sex healer because I'm trying to put the most in, even though the word sex and relationship healer that
Mm.
go, I want to put relationship and sex healer. I want to put what matters the most first, relationship. So,
Relationship, right? I said
what you say?
relationship because you know everything starts with
Right, that's
relationship, right? Yeah.
right. The relationship and sex healer. I like to ask her any. If not, okay. Well, listen. Guess what? They can look on her page and they can find you at
SpiceIslandGirl.com.
CC Alexander. Said she like, well, American men like what y'all got to say. I guess you know what I'm saying. You know, and you know, I believe this is what I believe. Also, as we get ready to log out, you know, I want queens. I always talk about how powerful you are, and I want you to understand how powerful you are to the degrees to where guess what happens. If you want this man to step up yourself, and you will make him step up. Through the course of history, I find this out
Mhm.
that a man that really wants to be a part of your life will do anything that is necessary to be a part of your life. This means he'll get out the game, drug game when he making hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. He'll get out to be with you
Exactly.
if he really in your life. You see
You're
what I'm
absolutely
saying?
right. Even like,
She said,
look at what Adam say to God. The woman that you gave me made me do this, right?
"Yeah,
He did.
yeah,
He said the woman you
hey,
gave me.
yeah, man." She came in with a fruit that God said not to eat. God said this. He was like,
But
"Man, look at her though."
yeah, and then he came back and what he blamed, you gave her to me. That caused me
Yeah,
to do what I did. I sinned because you gave me her, right?
yeah, and she Cece Alexandra says that American men are different. She said she noticed because her dad is from Antigua.
She's
You know what I'm
absolutely
saying? But we, as the black man, have been groomed to be as we are. And see, I'm gonna say this before we get out of here. Every so many years, every 10 to 15 years, oh, she asked, is there a real difference between the men from another country and American men, black men?
definitely.
This is what Cece Alexandra is asking
Yes,
you.
there is. At
What is it? Explain.
it's culture. Um, but one thing that I find though is men from down south have similar attributes as Caribbean men.
That
The
culture
culture,
that treat the woman like a lady.
exactly. And I'm not going to say there's some American men that treat women. But you know what? The difference is too also is that we always treat other people better. Other
Other
culture,
cultures,
right?
other races.
Because I find like I rarely date Caribbean men, right? Whereas American men love to date Caribbean women. So it's like we treat others better than we treat our own.
But it's still us as people of color.
But in essence, we are so divided that we don't see that, because like when I came to America, I had the hardest time ever because Black Americans did not like we foreigners, as they would put it. We had a hard way to go. And I mean, it was to my surprise because I'm like, we're skin the same color. We bleed the same, but it's a difference.
But see, I believe this. You came over here with your culture. You came over here not easy. You came over here with the prospect of, if I'm gonna be in a relationship, I'm gonna be in a relationship, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have a husband. And over here, it's like, man, I got this, I got that. You should be with me. And because you didn't do that, oh man, she foreign, she act funny, she conceited. No, she's a lady, she's a woman.
That's a little different in that aspect. And the other thing is, though, that the difference with Caribbean women that I've noticed is that we have learned to basically cater to our man because that's what we see. My grandparents used to fix my grandfather. I grew up with my grandparents, so I'm always going to say that. Cook the dinner, fix his plate, bring it to the table for him, pick it up,
What?
and put it in the sink.
What? Who do that? Yo,
American woman was like, MF, I work just like you did. Go fix your. And that's what I used to hear. So that is like a lot of difference. Like I remember the first time I dated an American man and I did that, he was like into the shock. Didn't even know how to appreciate that. You do that? Huh. We're shocked. Because they used to hear MF, you go do this, you go do that. We don't do that.
Will Nesby says this. King Will Nesby says this. And please understand, people who are not actually partisans, members of Collective Minds LLC, we are all mandated to call every black man king. We are all mandated to call every black woman queen. So this is not something that people just call me. This is something that we call one another to implement and bring back the value of ourselves. So King Will Nesby says, some black women, listen to this, this is powerful. Some black women expect black men to treat them bad. So when a black man who steps up, he already has to dig himself out of a hole. I've been through that. I've actually been with women who I've been with somebody who actually was like, you don't love me unless you discipline me physically. She didn't never say
Yeah.
it while we was
Mm-hmm.
together. But after we went through what we went through when we separated, she
Mm-hmm.
did. She like she wanted to go to work with boot prints on her and big glasses from black eyes. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Her reputation in the street, I'll fight, I can do this and I can do that. She like, ooh, he gonna really whoop me. And I didn't. And it actually pushed me
Mm.
away. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be there.
Right.
I had a new house that I didn't want to go in. You know what I'm saying? Will Nesby said he has also been through that. I had a female one time, we playing, I'm trying to kiss her, right? This is young. I'm young now. And I push her, I'm like, girl, come turn around. Oh, head hit the wall, right? Oh, she come up. I'm trying to say I'm sorry. She looked at me like, come on, get it now. Let's go in the basement. I was like, wow. Oh, wow.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
there's a lot of women who like to believe if unless they're not abused, they're not loved.
Now,
Psychological.
CC Alexandra says this. Yeah, yeah. I mean, to where the abnormal going to become the
Right,
normal. To where they can start looking for, this is what love means. My mother see this man, this dude or my dad whoop her to death. So, and she stays and continues to cook him breakfast, lunch, and dinner and do this and do that. So this is what I'm supposed to
right.
do. You know what I'm saying? That's something powerful to be reversed and for a real man to step in that, and also for a real woman to step into a man that accepts the abnormal as the normal is
Right.
powerful. This, we need time, like you said,
Good.
healer, to where when we separate, we need time to heal as opposed to just jumping into the next
Right.
relationship that we would a
Right,
situationship.
because you have to figure out what happened in my last relationship. Why didn't it last? Why certain things occur? You have to go through those steps.
Yeah, and a lot of us don't. We just jump to the
Right.
next. Alexandria says, you are right, Beverly. I was taught to serve too. How a woman should be by my dad. I get it. So a lot of people don't understand this. Understand this. Where did we as African Americans first go to doing through the processes of slavery? We went down south.
Right.
They took us
So,
down south. So guess what took place down south? All of us coming from the motherland down south, one of the things we did is one of the articles in the story that's getting ready to come out in Real Life with Mo Better, the magazine. I'm talking about how right off the ship, and we hear and we seeing certain things go on. We helping each other through trials and tribulations, the hardships of slavery, getting beat, hung, and all kinds of
mhm.
things, right? But what helped us was the older ones taught us stories. They told us stories about how it was in Africa, how it was in Antigua, how it was in Mesopotamia, how it was, where are you from
Grenada.
again? How it was in Grenada. This is how it is at home. This is what we do at home. So they helped and they cater to each other, which is now, guess what you have? You have a thing now that's called Southern
Right.
hospitality, to where you have to help one another. And a lot of people don't understand that Southern hospitality didn't just start in the South. It started at home in Africa and was actually a law in the Bible.
Okay.
You have to show hospitality to whoever walked past your house.
Right. It's kind of like when I was growing up, my grandma used to cook big pots of food in case somebody came by. No, nobody's coming by, but just in case. And if no,
Man, you can be,
and
yeah, you can be down. They cooking collard greens, cornbread, everything in
morning,
the morning. You right?
right?
Hey, you, yeah, hey, come here,
And
boy.
if nobody came by, we were supposed to bring it to the neighbors.
Yeah. Will Nesby, back to the situation with him, he says that he had a girl that broke up with him because he treated her too nice. I've seen that, and I think I've
Wow,
experienced that
that's
before.
that's crazy.
Uh, oh, this is Queen Ursula Bezate now. She's actually from South
Okay.
Africa. And she's talking about right now, she went all the way back home. She started speaking to me in another language. She said, Ubuntu is what the Zulu people call it, on how a woman caters to the
Okay.
man. This But see, this was all the way around the board. This is all that we taught through Africa, to where, guess what? The Caucasian woman actually learned this from us
Mm-hmm.
when we came over here. In the magazine, the article that's getting ready to come out, www.inreallifewithmobetter.com. Y'all can look it up and see that I got an article in there that's talking about how now everything that's over here in the United States and around the world actually originated with us as a black people. So the hospitality, the social systems, the economics, the educational processes, everything. And what we as a people have to do is go get that back. And again, what I'm talking about is Ursula Zay now is actually from South Africa, born and raised over here, visiting in America. She's telling you. what it's called. I think her grandmother. You think it? I think she said her grandmother is actually a Zulu.
Okay.
So he's learning ancient culture. You know what I'm saying from Africa for real. And what she calls is Ubuntu. I don't know if I'm saying it right, because
I
she
heard the
like want to
term.
me up. But yes, everything came from us. So listen, any more questions before we get ready to get out of here? Again, the processes is this, like Queen Beverly myself says. She said her mom is not her grandmom, but she's her mom is
Okay.
Zulu. And because anybody see the movie Shaka
Yes.
Zulu? And when I understand it, the Zulu tribe is actually one of the only tribes that was not actually conquered by the white man. Now, Did they catch some Zulu warriors off on the side when they was taking other people
Yes.
back? Yes, but the Zulu tribe has actually never been conquered. And when they had the rumble in the jungle, thank you. Will Nesby says this was a great meeting. And when we get ready to start doing this completely and strictly inside of Collective Minds LLC, though, this is what I've been inspired to do, because we have to bring this back to the organization. And again, the Rumble in the Jungle with Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, the military actually had to go threaten and hold the Zulu tribes hostage so that they would not come across the border, because the Zulu tribe was still killing white men for what they did
Okay.
in Africa,
Okay.
period. Even though they're not conquered, they said, man, these are still my people. This is still our land. And they was
Mhm.
killing them. So, look, we get ready to get out of here. Queen Beverly Perryman, relationship and sex healer. Would you like to say anything?
Thank you for having me, and thank the listeners. Hopefully, we can do that
Matter
again.
of fact, I forgot you had a website and you can get what all the things do you have? You have what?
I designed these underwears that's alternative to thongs. They go under your cheek and not the dental floss. They're more comfortable and sanitary.
Hold up, what? They what?
They're more sanitary than
I
the
heard
thongs.
I heard dental
Well,
floss.
that's what.
Hold up,
Well,
with some draw.
thongs are dental floss.
I heard some dental floss draws. What is
I said they're not dental floss.
that? Now what do they do again?
They're more sanitary than the thongs because they don't go between the leg up and down. Thongs are unsanitary because you wear them all day. You go to the bathroom and it rushes up and down, it gives yeast infection. Thongs are not drawers that you should wear every day for a long period of time. Thongs are bedroom drawers.
And, and, and yours do
They go
what?
under your cheeks, under your butt, so it does nothing up in the middle. Okay.
So it just go through the
To the
front.
front and around the legs.
And then so it's
It's
okay. It's
similar to your jock strap. They
okay. And these are
under.
underwear. These are
Hmm.
panties.
They don't look like you guys on.
Okay,
They're sexy. Huh?
you have.
I'm sorry?
What else? What else do you
Yeah,
have?
I do swimwear, but this is not time for swimwear right now. But I do a lot of swimwear.
Uh, you got games too. You was telling me about a
I
game,
do
right?
bingo, bingo night, X-rated bingo. I, I,
What? I
listen,
don't
listen,
see
listen. I go all the way, all the way, all the way.
So how do you do that? How do you? I mean, can people buy the game, or do they just call you and play it?
We
How does
do
this
a
work?
Zoom bingo night, adult bingo night. I have a special right now until the 15th. It's $8 because you win prizes. So I have to get the prize and you got to mail to you. You
Hold
you
up, hold up. Now usually, hey, hey, Will Nance be like, let's play right now. He like, what bingo night?
can I
Hey,
put the
listen.
link on your site?
So hold up. Now I'm thinking like this bingo. Like, is this on
It's on
Zoom or
Zoom.
something, or how
Zoom.
do so people get naked when
No,
they? Okay, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so
When you
no,
call
no,
the
it's a bingo game that I
number,
have. When you register, I send you a board. It's
uh-huh,
all X-rated words, adult content.
oh, okay,
It's not numbers, it's adult words.
okay.
And so when after you register, and
Your,
just
your accent coming out. Nah, it's a bingo game. Hey, she like invite us.
okay,
CC Alexander
can
said
I post it on your collective mind?
you can
Uh,
go in,
Okay.
like the board. You don't have to, but we gonna find a way that you can do it so we can go in there and we can make this happen.
No, what?
But it's adult work,
Yeah,
and you give prize.
you win prizes. The winner. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, hey, well look, this is Spice, the island
Spice
Spice
Island
girl,
girl.
Spice Island girl. Excuse, please forgive me. You and dating out, lady. Be careful. It's from these different countries. I don't want no problems. So, you you got the underwear that you need to put up in there so we can see and understand what it is, and then you have a bingo game that you can invite.
Yeah, the next one
We
is actually on the 22nd.
going. Will Nesby like I'm going. So you got a bingo game that people can get into. They win
Hmm.
prizes from, and
And
you actually patent underwear that only you sell.
mhm, yes, I do.
The relationship and sex healer to where you can call her when you are having issues in your relationship, man or
Man or
woman.
woman.
Yeah, I don't think some of these women want their men calling you.
You'll be surprised.
Exactly.
Right?
Hey, CC Alexander right now says she wants a swimsuit now.
Oh, you going swimming? Okay. Uh,
Man, she gonna do what she wanna do. CC
really?
Alexander.
You're brave, girl.
That's
You're
Queen
brave, girl. You're
Alexander.
brave. That's why you got that name. You're brave.
Look, we get ready to get out of here. I want to thank Beverly Perryman, the relationship and sex healer, for signing on with us and being a host today and speaking. And I want to thank all of you for showing up. Hey, look, I love y'all. Take care. It's your boy Mo Better in real life. Got you. Take care.